Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So I've been ill for the last 4 or 5 days, full of cold and flu, but I'm now on the mend. So I'm a little bit behind on getting my Mission Inspiration art journal page video done for December, but that's what I'm going to do now. So I've printed off the prompts for the month. There can be found on the blog and on the Mission Inspiration Facebook group. I'll put a link on the screen now. There's also a link in the description area below if you want to print this off and play along. So I'm just going to get on with creating my page for the Mission Inspiration Challenge for December. So this is the little prompt sheet. So we've got Snow White as a colour, Ice Blue and Silver Sparkle. We have our 8 prompts and we have the words Joy, Icicle, Frosty, Family and Winter. I think I'm going to play with the winter word today. So this is my Mission Inspiration journal where I've been keeping all of my projects for the year for 2018, and I've taken out, I've got a piece of 300 GSM watercolour cardstock that's slightly textured. That's also £140 for all you guys over the pond that use pounds for weight. So the first step, 8 inches by 8 inches by the way, that's the size of my journal. I've just got this piece of polypropylene so I can use as kind of like a paint mixing palette just off to my right here. So let's jump straight into prompt number 1. So prompt number 1 is to add a thin layer of paint or gesso. Right, okay, so I've got my colours that I'm going to use. I've got Snow White, so I've got Dina Wakley Media white paint. My Ice Blue, I haven't really got any kind of bluey blues, if there is such a thing, so I'm actually going to be using this kind of light blue from Indigo Blue, and this is Townhouse Teal. So a kind of really pale kind of turquoisey blue. And then for the Silver Sparkle, I've also got my Indigo Blue metallic Vodka Martini Silver. So I'm also going to be using a little bit of sparkle. So I've got some unicorn sparkles, very, very fine glitter that I'm going to add towards the end. Okay, so adding a thin layer of paint or gesso, I'm going to jump straight into adding some paint. Let me just see if I can find my paint brushes, because I've had a bit of a tidy up in preparation for moving house. So I just need to grab a little bit of a paintbrush. So I'm going to use the Townhouse Teal, just like that, and I'm going to put a little splodge of white just there, and I'm going to pick up bits of both. So I'm going to grab some blue on one corner of the paintbrush and white on the other, and then I'm going to literally just liberally paint, mix, grab, and just kind of do a real loose background using the white and the blue. More so the white down towards the bottom, so it's going to start disappearing off. I'll probably grab a little bit more white paint as that starts to disappear. So more white paint there. More white on that side, a little bit of blue, and then up and down, left and right motions, just to kind of blend it all together. More bluish towards the top, a little bit of white, just to get that kind of painterly effect, but also I'll break it up a little bit, because I don't want it too kind of flat. So add a little bit of that paint into the background, more of the white, tiny touch of blue, a bit more down here, and then grab the rest of the white, and then just literally just use left and right motions for the paint just to kind of blend it out, just like that. Oop, he says not getting his fingers stuck in it. I do apologise if my voice starts to go while I'm doing this because I'm still not 100% recovered from my cold. So if I have a little bit of a cough, I do apologise, and if I start to dry up a little bit, my throat starts to dry up a little bit, then I apologise for that too. So let's just give that a bit of a clean up. Okay, I'm not going to go too mad, as long as the majority of it's all kind of cleared. Okay, so I need to get that layer pretty dry. So I'm just going to bring the heat gun on, give it a quick dry, and then I'll be back with you once it's all done. Dry, that is, not the entire page. So that paint is now completely dry, so I'll bring back the prompts. So step number 2 is to add seasonal stamping all over your page. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to bring in some Ranger archival ink. I've got sky blue, and I've also got this large snowflake stamp from indigo blue. Now, I would normally show you the laminate that goes with it, but unfortunately when they sent me this stamp they didn't have a laminate for it. It hadn't been produced at the time, so I got these before they went into full production. But it's called, the stamp set is called Alternative Christmas. It's an A6 stamp set. That's European A6. It's A2 size stamp set if you're in America. Not all that expensive, but quite a nice overall stamp for doing on creating backgrounds. So I'm just going to ink up the stamp, and I'm just going to randomly stamp it over the background. Try not to shake the camera too much. So I'm going heavier in some areas, lighter in others. It's textured cardstock or watercolour cardstock, so I'm not going to get a perfect impression every time, but that's fine. All I want is kind of the impression of the snowflakes in the background. So that's going to be my seasonal stamping using those fab or lovely snowflake stamps. So I'll get some coming off the edge of the paper as well. I'm not going too mad down here towards the bottom because some of that is probably going to get, well, I know it's going to be covered up with my focal point in a little while. So that should do. Okay, so the archival ink is permanent when dry, hence the archival. So, and like I said, sky blue. Nice, so it's kind of a subtle stamp effect there in the background. So I'm not going to go too mad with it. You can see it better if I just hold it up like that. So a nice kind of mottled, broken up background. So I'm going to give that a couple of seconds to dry before I move on to step number 3. So I shall leave that to sit for a minute or two, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my stamping is now dry. I'm not getting anything coming off there now, so let's look at step number 3. So step number 3 is to add texture layers with stencils. Okay, so I'm going to use a stencil. I'm going to use my Fleur de Lis stencil. I'm not going to go too mad with this. I have some structure paste from a British company called Imagination Crafts. This was recently given to me as a little gift by my friend Linda Simpson. So I'm going to just add some of this into that background, starting in that top right hand corner and then just pulling it down like so. Don't mind if it's a little bit rough. Just going to add some little bits. Now when it says add texture or add texture layers, you can also do flat texture layers if you want to, so you can just go through the stencil with inks or paints. Excuse me. You don't have to go mad with your texture paste. It's only a personal choice. Just grab a little bit more of that texture paste, or structure paste as it's called. Add just a little bit more just here, and I like it when it breaks up and you don't get the full kind of pattern. Just makes it look a little bit older, more distressed if you've got those kind of gaps in the paste. That should do me. So I'll drop that straight into some water. There we go. So I've got some nice texture going on just around the page there. So I need to get this dropped into some water and cleaned off straight away before it dries. And I also need to clean my little mat up. So I'm going to have a quick clean up, wash up, get this structure paste here all dry with my heat gun, and I'll be back in a jiffy. So just a quick note on this structure paste. Now, if you're in the US and you're wanting to try this Imagination Craft structure paste, I believe that it's being distributed by Crafters Companion in the US. So their Crafters Companion here in the UK are distributing Imagination Crafts products. So you should be able to get that in the US as well. So it may be worthwhile having a look. If you've got a local stockist of Crafters Companion, they may be able to get this for you as well. So it's quite a nice size pot, not too heavy, not too small, so it's going to last you quite some time. Right, okay, so on to this next one. This isn't sponsored, by the way, either. No affiliation with Crafters Companion anymore. Used to have, quite a few years ago, but no longer. Okay, so step number 4 is to add a seasonal focal image or images. Okay, so step number 4. I've got a nice little printout, a bit of clip art of a winter fox, and I'm going to set that down just there. I did leave a little bit of white just there, just to kind of ground it. I've also got my journaling quote and phrase to add next, so that's what I'm going to do with that one. But I want to just add this on first of all, obviously, try and keep them in some kind of order. But if those edges stand out too much, I might just add a little bit of paint or structure paste just to kind of disguise them a little bit. But we'll see what it looks like in the end. So I'm going to put my little winter fox just about there. Beautiful creature. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. So that's my focal point for step number 4. So step number 5 is to add journaling, a quote or phrase. Okay, so I've got, again, printed out on my computer, I've got Winter Wonders. Now winter is one of the suggested words for inspiration. Obviously we're doing December, so why not? So I'm going to stick that down. I might just put it there, like that. I think that's going to work. Maybe I need to cut it down a little bit. Let me just grab some scissors. There we go. Maybe take it so it's almost to the top of the letters. And I printed this out at the same time as printing out my little foxy character. So it's all on the same thickness of cardstock. I'll just thin that down a little bit. Ooh, and it doesn't really matter if it gets a little bit wobbly. Police aren't going to knock on your door if it's not exactly straight. Oh. Okay, so let's grab that glue stick again and just add some to the back. There we go. Earlier in the week when I was trying to do these prompts, my brain wasn't working at all, so I had to call my friend Linda and just give me a hand putting these prompts together, will you, because my brain isn't working properly. So when you download the prompt sheet, if you do that, you'll notice it does say with contributions from Linda Simpson, because she did help me put them together, so it was only fair that I put her name on them too. Oh, excuse me. Oh, tickly throat, tickly throat. Right, let's just quickly get rid of that glue off the mat. Let that sit for a minute or two just so that it all starts to bond together and then I'll be right back. Okay, so that's had time to be able to grab and set now. The white there kind of does disappear off a little bit because we've got this white up here and around the edges where we didn't take the paint right towards the end. So it kind of does blend, so I don't think I need to do anything with that at all. So I can move straight on to step number 6. So step number 6 is to add drips or splatters. Okay, well everybody knows how much I love my splatters. So what I'm going to do is I've got a brand new fan brush. I've got some of the indigo blue vodka martini silver metallic paint, which I've just given a quick shake. So that's going to deposit some of that nice silver paint into the lid. So I'm going to grab some of that silver paint. I have my little spritzy bottle, and I'm just going to mix some of that silver paint onto my mat. Now you can see that mica starting to move in that silver. It's beautiful. Just make it a little bit thicker. That's cool. And then I'm just going to put my hand over the fox a little bit and then just start adding some of those silver drips and splatters into the background. So if I just catch the end where the tail is, then that's going to help to disguise that white a little bit more. Just using my hand as a little bit of a guard. There. Drop it straight into some water, and let me just lift that up so you can see where those silver splatters have got to. Love that. Just even if they want to drip a little bit, don't mind that. Okay, so I need to get those splatters all dried off. So I'm going to bring out my heat gun, get this mat all cleaned up, and then I'll be right back once that's done and I've had a little bit of a drink of water because I'm starting to go again. Okay, my silver splatters are dry, and there you go. You can see them catching the light now. Dark, shiny. Love that. Just that little hint of shininess in the background just helps to give it that kind of really nice, almost snowflakey kind of feel to it. Okay, so step number 7 then, as soon as that's now dry, you can add a border of your choice. Okay, now normally I would maybe do a doodle border all the way around this with a black pen, or even add washi tape or something like that all the way around it. I'm not going to do that this time. Instead, I'm going to grab a Signo Uniball white opaque pen, and because I don't want to put a hard line all the way around this, I like the fact that the white kind of fades in and out of the page, is I'm actually just going to add some, let's see if I can get this pen to work. I may have to get a second or a new one. Let's have a look. Have I got a new one down here somewhere? Yeah, this is a brand new one. Let's see whether that works. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some like pretend faux stitching just towards the end, which you probably won't really be able to see unless I just lift it up a little bit. So it's kind of subtle. I might go back and add some other bits later, but I don't really want to go too mad and add too much of a border around here, because I think it's going to detract away from the way it kind of fades out. So that's going to be it actually. So I'm going to leave that. So that was step number 7, add a border of your choice. Well, actually I decided not to really put one on, so that's my choice. And number 8, to finish with shimmer or sparkle. Right, okay, well, we've got shimmer in there already, haven't we? But just to kind of add a little bit extra, I've raked out some of my very, very old stamping up dazzling details. Now there's not going to be much left in this bottle, I don't think. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some of that just across the top of my little quote, just so it looks as though there's frost, maybe a little bit of snow gathering on top. Now it will probably dry flat, it's not dimensional, so I'm also going to put just a little bit down here where the feet of my and tail of my little foxy is, just to give it a little bit of extra additional sparkle, just like that. I know this isn't really going to look, or you won't be able to see, oh there you go, I think you can catch that now where I've added it on towards the bottom. And I might just add just a little bit on some of these fleur-de-lis up here. You could just grab a little paintbrush if you want to and just add that sparkle just on some of those fleur-de-lis. A little bit of glitter glue goes a long way. Even if you just get a few particles just catching over the top, just kind of like adds a little bit of extra depth. Just like that. And that will do, I think. So let's just hold that up to the light to see if they pick any up. Probably not a lot. You can probably see more down here where it's on top of the words, and a little bit up here. But you can see that glitter and the glimmer of the silver paint on there too. As well, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do any more to it. I'm just going to grab a little bit of this Pigma Micron pen. I normally sign the front of these actually, but I quite like it as it is, so I might just actually leave it and sign it on the bottom when it's dry, when all that glitter glue is dry. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave that for 10 minutes or so for that glitter glue to start drying, and then I will take some photos of it. So let's just quickly pull the mission brief back in again and let's just see what we've done. Okay, so we've used white, blue and silver paint. We added those on our base layer, we stamped all over, we used texture, paste from Imagination Crafts, I did my little foxy, I did my quote, the Winter Wonders, I did splatters of silver paint, obviously, add a border of my choice. Well, I've added a little bit of a white border, but not too much, that's enough. And then I've finished with some shimmer and sparkle, and I've used the word winter. So I would say that that was mission accomplished. Okay, so that is my Winter Wonders art journal page. The light's a little bit too bright for this to pick up that colour very well, I think, but there'll be plenty of close-up pictures at the end anyway, so there's that little nice shine and sparkle for that page in there. So like I said, it's December, it's the last mission inspiration for 2018. There'll be a brand new set of mission inspiration prompts, maybe in a slightly different format for 2019 in January. So it'll be, I haven't looked to see what day the first Saturday in January falls on. If it does fall on a Saturday, if January the 1st is a Saturday, then it will be the week after, because obviously I'm going to have family here over the Christmas period, a New Year period. Well, not here, hopefully I'll be in the new house. So I'm going to take some time, once I've done my 7 days of Christmas series, I'll take some time because I will be packing down my craft room, moving to a new house, and then hopefully setting back up. So I'm not sure what my upload schedule is going to be over the Christmas period and New Year period, but I'll let you know once I've worked out what I'm going to be doing, and that when my brain is functioning properly too. Anyway, that's all from me. Don't forget, the link for the Mission Inspiration Facebook group is on the screen right now, but you can also find a clickable link in the description area below. Please pop along, join in the fun. We're all a friendly bunch, all supportive and all very encouraging. So why not? What have you got to lose? That's all from me for now, before I ramble off into the distance. I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.